Alright guys, so I hope you're doing fine as always. Today I'm making another video about this 5-hour long setup on PEPE USDT. I did record my chart live when I was looking for this setup, so without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. Alright, so now for the actual TA part of the video. I'm here on the PEPE USDT chart on the 1-hour time frame. So as usual, first thing that we do is look at our vector candles. So I'm just indicating them right here. You can see this vector candle got recovered already, but it's still quite an interesting one to have indicated on our chart. We have this big green one here below, and we have this big red one over there. The reason I'm indicating this zone right here is because of this wick, which can potentially turn into resistance if we see a move up. So also pretty much half of the vector candle and this wick. That's the reason that I have my indication line over there instead of the full recovery. Just for your information. So we go down the time frame. Do we see here on the 15-minute time frame we have the green vector candle, which got recovered by the red vector candle, which is of course good to see. If you remember the vector candle theory, it's always good to see if a green vector candle gets recovered by a red one and a red one by a green one, for example. What else do we notice here? The green vector candle of the 1-hour time frame, here on the bottom left, is no longer a vector candle on the 15-minute time frames. If you remember the latest live streams, and I also think the latest videos, we went over this. If there's a higher time vector candle, but not on a lower time vector candles, these show less strength. So these vector candles are not as strong as the candles that are vectors on multiple time frames, like this one, for example. So keep that in mind. And that's just having a quick look. We do have a small one sitting over here, but it's so small. Where is it? So small it nearly got fully recovered that I'm kind of ignoring that one. We have a look on the 5-minute time frame. So also here on the 5-minute time frame, we see this is no longer a vector candle. What can we see though? That this is a fair value gap. So price did react of the fair value gap and the 15-minute/1-hour vector candle. So it's a vector on 2 time frames, but not on the 5-minute. But still a fair value gap, which is also quite strong. So we do see we had the reaction from there. So we did recover these vectors and fair value gaps with a red vector candle, and from there the reaction was pretty strong. You can see with the green vector candle right here, so quite a strong bounce. They instantly came down, but didn't fully recover this big green vector candle. So my thought process here was that they will first try to recover this full vector candle before continuing their move up. So I'm indicating the unrecovered part. Now checking into this consolidation zone right here. We are looking for a long setup, so we take our long tool. We look for a vector candle recovery. In this case, it's this red one right here. Now we have to find a stop loss, so I decide to look for this bottom part of this consolidation zone. Let's say, so this is a type of liquidity zone. It was previous support, was sitting on the 800 EMA over here. Price did bounce of it with the purple vector candle. So it's quite an interesting zone to look for a stop loss below. So we want to have it below this area because there is of course a chance that they want to test this level again and bounce from there, or take this liquidity and bounce from there. So we need a stop loss below that level, just in case they want to tap into it again and then continue their move up. So we do now know the stop loss below this level, TP at this vector candle recovery. I saw we were close to a 5R, so I moved my stop loss a tiny bit more up. So we got a nice clean 5R setup. So playing a bit with it to reach that 5R, as that would be nice and worth the risk. So entry on the full recovery of this vector candle again. Stop loss below this previous support and liquidity level. TP on the unrecovered red vector candle. That's kinda everything that there is to this trade. Alright, so now what can we tell about this trade in hindsight? So first of all, the screenshot of the trade. Entry at 0.0073200, 0.0073200, exit price 0.007726, 007726, resulting into a 55.5% ROI on 10x leverage. Most importantly for us, it's a 5R setup. So now, what do we see with this trade? So we did go into the full vector candle recovery here on the 5-minute time frame with a red vector candle. We saw some reaction from it, but they decided to come back down a little more. We saw we bounced off the 800 EMA. The 50 EMA is also somewhere there, so we bounced off. We went to this level that we indicated here, so the low of this consolidation area. They didn't take the liquidity, but it acted as support and they bounced from there. You could see it was an area that market makers wanted to bounce off, as these are all vector candles up from there. The vectors breaking the EMA levels, recovering the vectors instantly and shooting up from there. I think Bitcoin did something similar. We can have a quick look. So if we overlap Bitcoin, we can see we see a pretty similar pattern. So Bitcoin also had this move up, the retrace and the impulse up. So usually these coins do follow Bitcoin. So you can always use Bitcoin as a confluence. Let's remove this again. So bouncing off the support, taking out the vector candle, even going higher, taking out this liquidity zone right here, even higher. Let's move up a time frame to see if there's any important levels that they have taken. So we have taken this and this. So not too much of important zones, it seems. Didn't go for the top yellow line, which was our initial vector candle, or red vector candle that we indicated, but they didn't go there. Instead, they decided to go down. This was also on the day that Trump was making his tariff announcement, so this move down is when the tariffs got announced, everything was crashing, so it's not really TA based, let's be honest. This move down is just news based. But we got lucky, we got out, we got our TP before the announcements. So happy days. Let's see, Fibonacci wise, we can maybe draw a fib level from there-ish. As you can see, they did retrace into the golden pocket. If we take it from the very high, it's around the 0.5 level. But we didn't look at the fibs for this level or this trade. So that's pretty much everything that there is to this trade. It's not so special. It's just a vector play. It's just a matter of bouncing off support. And that's pretty much it. So as always, If there are any more questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section or on the Discord server, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. See ya. Bye bye.